Hi, it's a pleasure to be with you today, and I'm introducing to you Brian Broik. Brian is a certified counselor with Consumer Credit Counseling Service, and he's been with the organization for over 17 years. Brian counsels in our Grand Island office, which is one of 6 locations that we have throughout the state. And just might mention at this point in time that we counsel in both the states of Nebraska and Iowa. And Brian, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Don.
And in your experience as a credit counselor, I imagine that you've seen just about everything over the years.
Oh, quite a bit over the 17 years at CCCS so far. One of my first recollections is my first week at the job. After becoming certified, I came across a young, or I shouldn't say young, but a gentleman of 60 years of age, and going through the session, I found out that he had over $100,000 in credit card debt.
Wow.
And yeah, that was the first thing out of my head too, is wow. And then I found out that with some effective budgeting and then also some discipline on his part, he was able to pay that plan out in under 5 years.
So a person with that much debt was actually able to pay out their debt and learn how to better budget their money and go on and take care of everything.
That's correct. You know, one of the things that we feel at Consumer Credit Counseling Services is that if you give a person the right set of tools, they can build anything. If you give themselves the right knowledge, they can solve any problem. So by going through a session where we're understanding where the person has come from and where they want to go, we can help provide them a roadmap on how to get there.
That's fantastic, Brian. As a counselor, there are certain things that you have to do that are part of every session. But I know the uniqueness of it is probably designing a plan for the individual so that when they're in the session and they leave the session, they have a plan that they can follow. Is that right?
Yeah, we call it a client action plan, and each client action plan is unique to that certain individual, because it could just be a simple case of a budget issue to where we don't have to say you need to look for a second job or you need to have your kids take on a little bit more of the responsibility at home, or it could be an issue of the spouse just needing to get employed. So every circumstance has a different outcome. The best thing that we can advise people is to have an open mind when they're going through their counseling session.
Very good. And if I were a first-time consumer and I wanted to set up an appointment with you, what could I expect? What would I need to bring?
Well, what you could expect is you're going to be treated with compassion and understanding and respect. The other thing that we're going to need from the client is we're going to need to know what type of income they have, if they're part-time or full-time, so pay stubs or bank statements that show direct deposits works well. We have an application that we have the client fill out that gives us a parameter of their budget, what they think their budget is, and then we need to know who their creditors are.
That's great, Brian. Well, I thank you for giving us some ideas to what a certified credit counselor does and sharing your expertise with us. And once again, I'd invite anybody that's in need of credit counseling or budget counseling to call Consumer Credit Counseling Service or look us up on the internet at www.ccccsn.org, and we will give you advice, education, and solutions. Thank you.